Hi guys, let's quickly talk today about God Thoth. So, number one, he is the god of the moon. Number two, if you know Ra, God Ra, the sun god Ra, and if you have read his channelings that came in the book of Ra, the Law of One by Ra, and in that the channel messages by Ra, according to that channel message, Ra is a collective consciousness memory, right? And it's like a collective memory of consciousness, so it's not just one being but a collection of all the consciousness. And Ra, he is supposed to be the heart and tongue of God Ra. Now, what this means is that Ra, if you see here, he's writing, so he's the scribe of the gods. And whatever Ra would say, so he became the tongue of Ra. And whatever Ra had to share on this planet to the Egyptian civilization, because if you read the book of Law of One, they say that, Ra came and during the time of Egyptians and tried to help the people back then, but obviously it did not go so well. And after thousands and thousands of years, today, finally, with the channeling, he was able to come back to this planet and share his knowledge and wisdom. So back then, Thoth was the scribe of Ra, and he would write whatever was told to him. So, number two is that he is the mediator. He's the mediator between the above realms and the physical realm. So, the spirit realm and the realm of the physicality. So, is that even a term? All right, I don't know. So, the point is that he is like a mediator. And what his job is that, he maintains the records. Again, he is the record keeper. He is writing the records, and he will make sure that all the good and right is written down. Why? So that, no one, not even one side should win. Because see, if you have good accounts also, you will have to come back because you're still tied down to the physical world. So his job is to become the balancer, the mediator of good and bad, right and wrong, light and dark, and balance that, because both are needed. You cannot say that, one is completely light or one is another completely dark. No, it's not the case. Every soul has to find the light and dark within themselves and learn to balance that. Number three, he's also an arbitrator. So you see, he has all the legal skills. He's a mediator, he's a writer, he's a scribe writer for the gods, and now he's an arbitrator. So whenever wars happen between good and evil, he would arbitrate. Even when there was a war between Horus and Set, his uncle, right? He would go there and he would try to arbitrate both sides, because war is not good, and he was the arbitrator for such serious matters. And also he had healing skills. So whenever, people would get into these gods, they would get injured, he would heal them. One famous story is that, when sorry, Isis, when she was trying to bring Osiris back to life. Remember, Set cut him into, first he locked him into a tomb, then threw him in Nile. Isis got him from the Nile, and then again, Set found that the tomb was back in Egypt. So he now cut Osiris's body into 14 parts, and she was able to retrieve 13, but the 14th was his lost manhood. So what she does is she creates a gold manhood for Osiris, and now she needs to bring him back to life, because if she does not bring him back to life, then they won't be able to have another generation. They need an heir, right? So to bring so how Osiris comes is that she gets all the parts of his body together, and then she uses magic. And now to use magic, you need the spells. And Thoth is the one who gave her the spell, the chanting the mantra, to bring back Osiris to life. With this, Isis was able to bring back Osiris, couple with him. Just for one night, she was able to bring him back and then conceive Horus. And after that, the gods were impressed, so they brought back Osiris But then the person to give her the magic mantra was Thoth himself. And obviously, coming to Ra, then whatever Ra wished for, Thoth would do that, right? So he also is known to create heaven and earth after Ra dictated. So he kind of fulfilled wish of Ra, and he created heaven and earth. And the fifth is that if you read Emerald Tablet of Thoth, then Thoth is considered to be the Atlantean king and the high priest. And after the submerging of Atlantis, Thoth and whoever left were, they all got into the spaceship, and then they came to Egypt and found Egypt civilization. And for a very long time, Atlantis, all the teachings were there, and they're still kept there. If you see the Sphinx there, it's said that the Hall of Records, the Hall of Amenti, it is built by Thoth. So it has this, all the knowledge is stored there, maybe in books, energy form. If your soul feels connected, you will automatically start getting information from there. It's like energetic print. Like today we need to enter space, we need our thumbprints, or we need this chip or something to get in, right? There's a specific code, and in the same way your soul carries the codes. It's your energy, your etheric records, they are going to carry the codes. So if you have been here, if you were working in Thought back in those days, you will definitely feel a connection. And the last thing I wanted to share was, this is the last one, and this is one of the famous pictures of the weighing of the heart. Everybody has seen this. And if you have seen this movie, The Mummy, that came in the 90s, right? They talked about the Book of the Dead, and this is coming from the Book of the Dead. If you see, then you will see Horus, the king over here. You'll see Anubis, he's the god of the underworld. I'll someday again talk about Anubis. He's the god of the underworld, and he's also the child of Osiris and Nephthys. And this again, God Thoth. So he is writing your records. He's the record keeper of souls. So when in Egypt people would die and they had to go to the afterlife, to the underworld, these both gods are weighing the heart and the feather, and the balancing of the scales, and he is there maintaining the record. Similar record keeping is found in Hinduism. It's also found in Jainism, Buddhism, many religions across, even Mayans and Aztecs. But this is like this is a same concept being repeated in many religions, very prominent religions. Now, I will tell you about from my family background. My family background, we come from a family known as castes in northern part of India, and we are called the descendants of Chitragupt Ji. Chitragupt Ji is again, he's a god, and he's again similar to his work is again similar to God Thoth. He is the writer, he's the account keeper of the souls in the Yampuri, the place where the souls go after their death, so the afterlife. And there, he is the record keeper, and we are considered to be the descendants of this god, and we're supposed to be the writers of the record, like the record keepers. So we are asked to always balance the scales, look into our karmic accounts, always review. So working with the karmic lines, I think this is something I think many religions follow. And even what I've seen is, even if people if their religion specifically does not talk about it, it's kind of their soul knows that there's something balancing that needs to be done. There is some karma and that needs to be balanced. It's kind of it's already deeply ingrained within one's soul. So I don't know if this helped you. With lots of love and light, Princess Starlight.